Today we'll start by finding a full body stretch, except this time our fingertips and our toes will reach to the same direction, while our hip reaches to the other side for a banana stretch for about 30 seconds each. Next, we'll draw our knees to our chest and curl into that tiny little ball and extend and reach about 3 times each. We'll then reach for the outer edges of our feet, or your ankles or shins or the back of the thighs, whatever your mobility allows for here, but stamp the ceiling with the bottom of your feet and try and pull on those feet and draw your knees closer to the ground and to the outer ribs. The legs will then come together, and we can rock and roll 3 times or whatever feels good to feel that massage along the spine before rolling over our feet and coming to find our tabletop position. Let's move through 5 rounds of our cat and our cow here, rounding in the back and dropping the belly and lifting the gaze. And then we'll come to a neutral tabletop, extend right hand, opening the arm up towards the sky, and then reaching it through to the left. We'll be here about 5 times before bringing our shoulder to the mat and threading the needle, allowing that shoulder opening stretch. When we come up the last time, we'll shift into our modified side plank, kickstanding in the knee and reaching out long. We'll then come back to our neutral tabletop and find this on the other side, opening left arm and passing through with the left hand about 5 times before you allow the shoulder and the head to come to the ground. You can interlace the fingers and really work on pulling that shoulder through. We'll press up and open up one more time, kickstanding onto that knee and finding a modified side plank, reaching long. We'll then return to our neutral tabletop, tuck the toes, and find our downward dog with our hips high to the sky. As always, pedal out the feet here, open up those hamstrings. And then today we're going to reach our left hand to our back right ankle if we can, and see if we can use this to help us find a little spinal twist and even more opening in the legs. Spend some time there before we raise right leg to the sky, tap right knee to right elbow, then raise it again, and we'll tap right knee to left elbow today, twisting from the torso. And then one more time we extend and step right foot between the hands, finding our high lunge again. Back left leg is straight, deep bend in front right knee. We'll then allow the left knee to come to the ground. Our hands are going to come to the inside of the right foot, and our right foot goes wide here as we lower into lizard pose. Hold in lizard pose for about 30 seconds, whichever your depth is. And then we are going to sit our hips all the way back to our heels, kind of like half splits, except a little more restorative. And then we'll shift back forward into lizard. And then we'll step that foot back, raising to sky and finding downward dog again before we find it all on the other side. So tap left knee to left elbow, then tap left knee to right elbow. Extend one more time before stepping left foot between the hands, coming up in high lunge and holding. Then we lower that back right knee to the mat, the foot heel toes outwards. And you can stay in your tall lizard on your fingertips, or you can come to forearms if you have that mobility and flexibility here. Don't do it if it feels uncomfortable. Just find somewhere that feels kind of okay here before we shift back into our half splits. Again, lizard and this restored half splits, spend about 20 to 30 seconds here. Really feel that stretch. This is a good hip opener. It just takes some time for our hips to melt into these tough poses. We'll then send the leg back up, downward dog, and tiptoe our way to the top of the mat, finding our forward fold. We'll bend in the left knee and plant the left hand and open the right hand up towards the sky. And then we'll find that on the right side, holding here in this twist for 30 seconds on each side in this forward fold. We'll then heel toe our feet mat width distance, nice and wide, and find our yogi squat. We'll raise and lower the hips here about 5 times each position before drawing our palms together and sending our elbows against the knee so that when we press into the palms, the elbows go wide and open the hips up by pushing the knees out. We'll then plant the hands again. We'll walk our feet back and find our downward dog again. Right leg will go to the sky. Right knee comes to right wrist, and we'll find our pigeon again at the end of this practice. After spending about a minute in that pigeon, just sit off onto your hip and send that left leg forward, finding a forward fold here over that left leg. We're then going to plant the right hand by the right hip and open up into our rainbow pose, sending the hips to the sky, finding a nice opening in that left side body before folding into this again. And then alternate between these two poses about 5 times each, nice and slow, before bringing that left foot in, finding a butterfly. And then we'll step back into downward dog and find it on the other side, raising left leg to the sky, left knee to left wrist. Spend about a minute here in this pigeon. It can be active or you can put it to sleep. And then swing the right leg out around. Fold over that right leg for a little while here before planting the left hand and sending the hips high, and alternating between these two poses about 5 times each here again. Make sure you spend a lot of time in pigeon and in these forward folds at the end of practice here today. And then end with a butterfly. You can stay active or you can fold into it, walking those hands out long in front of you. Then keep your soles of your feet together at the end of practice here today, but maybe move them a little further from your body as you roll back one vertebrae at a time. And we'll just take a reclined butterfly here, relaxing in this hip opener for a couple minutes.